Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Aurora C# Let's Play Uncut series. In today's episode, we're going to continue where we last left off. In the last episode, we talked about our space doctrine, our naval doctrine. In today's episode, we're going to talk about our ground doctrine, our ground-based doctrine, how our organization for our military is going to go, and various other things. But before we get into that, I do want to say big thanks to you guys again for all the support. We hit episode 20 yesterday. And we're going to continue down this series as we advance more and more into the game. Feel free to head over to the Discord. The link is in the description, and you can chat with other members and myself about future plans for the series and other series, as well as designs and sneak peeks into what I've been thinking about during this. There's also long-form discussions about how we should organize our ground forces or military or other different things. So definitely check that out. Also consider becoming a member. It really does help me out. It's totally optional, but if you do so, it really does help me continue to be able to consistently put these videos out every single day for you guys at the same time, same place, same channel. Anyway, I want to bring up the document I've been working on to kind of give an overview of the forces that I have designed. As you know, we have the Rackers, which are, we don't know their current strength, but we do know that they are extremely strong and they are on a forest mountain world. As such, I have set out the goal of designing and building an army capable of defeating them, and I've gone all out. We have the Federalist Armed Forces, which will be in command of all of the forces located here today. This is an organization chart as well as a instruction on exactly what each individual division will contain. The Federalist Army will be holding worlds. They will be much bigger than the Federalist Marine Corps, but they will hold worlds, use planetaries to surface weapons, and various other things. As you can see, each Army Corps will be made up of 3 divisions, 2 infantry divisions, and 1 S-tier weapons division. In an infantry position, they will contain 4 infantry brigades, each of 40 kilotons each. So that is, and then each brigade will contain 4 infantry battalions with a single combat engineer battalion for digging in forces. We then have access to surface to orbit weapons, surface to orbit weapon division. That will have 100 kilotons and will have a weapons brigade of an anti-ship weapons brigade of 40 kilotons. Then we have railguns. Railgun battalions, these will be the anti-ship ones, and then point defense, which will also be railguns, but will be 10 centimeters instead of 20 or 25. Then we have the Federalist Marine Corps. They are going to be the main primary offensive military arm, not just a boarding thing. They will be organized into Marine Expeditionary Forces. Each expeditionary force will be assigned to a single carrier group. The expeditionary force will be a total of 200 kilotons, around 250 kilotons. The Marine Division, which will be contained within it, is going to be 200 kilotons. It will contain 3 or 4 Marine regiments, 1 artillery, 3 infantry. The 3 infantry regiments are 30 kilotons each. These are extremely highly advanced infantry with the best armor, best weapons that can be equipped. They are 5 kilotons each. Or 5,000 tons each, my bad. I like to say kilotons, just sounds nice. Then we have the artillery, which will be made up of 2 normal batteries, 1 heavy battery, and then a long-range battery. Battery is just a name for a battalion that's for artillery. And then we have extra attached on organization. So we have reconnaissance battalion, which will contain fire teams, recon, that stuff. First light armor reconnaissance and second light armored, and they will contain our basically our light armored vehicles, LAVs. Then the 1st Assault Battalion will contain heavy armor, and then they'll have a single combat engineer battalion to dig in the forces and also to assist in anything else that we need to hold the planet. That is the overall ground forces template that I'm going to be going for. Ideally, I want to start out with 200,000 tons of Marines and then 600,000 tons of Army. I want a 3-to-1 ratio in terms of Army to Marines because the Army will have to defend literally every planet, while the Marines will act as more of a quick response force that doesn't really need to do so. There's also another part that I haven't designed yet, and that's going to be the logistics part. So I'm basing it off this. So what we'll have is we'll have marine logistics, and this will just be for the Marines, and then we'll have combat logistics battalions. And each infantry combat logistics battalion will be able to replace 2 full infantry battalions. So there'll be 10 kilotons each, or 10,000 tons. And that's what I'll be making and designing and all that good stuff. But that'll be a little bit later. For now, we're just going to get an actual army assigned and built. And sort it out. I hope you guys have can understand everything that I just said. But yeah, so this is what I'm basing on as well here. So we have the first Marine Division, and then the first Expeditionary Force here, and then they'll also have ground fighters assigned to them. So we may assign Marine fighter squadrons, attack squadrons, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's get back into the actual game. So to do so, we need to think about our designs. So last episode we designed the battalion and regimental headquarters, I do believe. Well, we had designed the expeditionary brigade and then the infantry battalion and towed artillery battalion, but we had not designed the regimental headquarters. So that is a little bit concerned. But I'm also going to move some stuff around. Featherless Guardsmen. Featherless Guardsmen can stay how they want for now. We don't have any better tech just yet, so we can do pretty okay with that. Something I do want to do is edit this. So I'm going to edit this to 120. Let's do 100. Yeah, there we go. Just to make it a little bit better. So we're going to need a regimental headquarters, and we're also going to need then an additional headquarters, and an additional headquarters, and an additional bloody headquarters. So I'm just going to assign this to the left here, and I'm just going to make sure that we have everything that we need. So, yeah, let's start that design process. So static, we're going to go, no, infantry, we're going to go for headquarters, and I'm going to go for a 30,000 ton headquarters. There we go, heavy powered infantry armor, avoid combat. And this is going to be FMC regimental headquarters. Didn't we already do this? I'm pretty damn sure that we did already do this. And let me go over to our research. Yes, we did do this. FMC infantry regiment headquarters. I'm bad. Let's design the other ones then. So we're going to need a 200 kiloton one. And that will be for the Marine Division. So we'll assign that. So this will be a division headquarters. And then we'll set this to 2195, avoid combat. And then we're going to need an even larger one. So the division is going to be 200 kilotons. But we'll probably need more than that in reality, right? So 60, 90, 120. Yeah, that generally works out for us there. So the Marine Division and the Marine Expeditionary Force, which we can then assign differently. Now because it's 2,000 development, we can do 250,000 tons for the full division or the Marine Expeditionary Force in itself. So we'll do MEF, Marine Expeditionary Force headquarters. Okay, with combat. There we go. I want an oversight so that we can actually assign extra things to it. Let's go to our ground combat and let's make sure that we actually get those underway and into research. So I want division headquarters and I also want MEF headquarters. Once that's done, we can then start to actually get some forces out. We currently have infantry brigade, but also towed artillery. We're going to need different types of towed artillery specifically. So I'm going to rename this template to the long range Marine long range artillery, long range battery. There we go, and FMC. And then we're going to need a medium one and then some other things. So we'll go for, I want static, I want medium bombardment, which gives us 3 shots, and that's obviously quite a bit cheaper. But does give us quite a bit more damage, and has less maintenance cost, which is the main thing there, and the resupply cost is much less in comparison. Well, it's got maintenance less. So compared to light bombardment, this gives us 15 pen, which actually allows us to penetrate the Centurion, so I'm actually going to go for it. We're going to call this the FMMC, or not the FMMC, it's just going to be a general light bombardment, medium bombardment weapon. So we're going to go for medium bombardment 52. 2195, towed howitzer, towed artillery gun. That works for me. We'll create that design. There we go. And then we're going to need some heavy bombardment likely, so I'll have a look. I also want to design a, this is towed artillery, so as Marine Battalion headquarters there. But I would like to actually design, if we go to unit class design, we can design the headquarters that's actually static for us. So we'll do 5,000 tons there. Yeah, we'll do 5,000 tons and we'll rename this to FMC battery headquarters. There we go, avoid combat, and we can create that design. So we need a lot from our ground combat if we're actually going to be able to do a lot of what I want to do. But we will start actually beginning to organize our forces correctly. So we have infantry brigade, then divisions and all that good stuff. And that's to rename a bunch of this. I'm going to rename this template to brigade headquarters instead of regimental. So brigade. Then I need to get a division headquarters. Oh, not a division, a brigade. Yeah, division headquarters, my bad. And that is going to require this much. So I want 200 kilotons for. Oh, yeah, that was the wrong format. I put a K in by mistake. So 222, so 200,000, and this is going to be FRA, and I want division headquarters. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to need a army corps as well. Now, an army corps will be made up of 600 kilotons, or 500 kilotons. So we're going to need 500,000 capacity, and that's going to be army corps headquarters. So FRA army corps. We'll create those. So now we need to research them. Let's get that research actually underway. Let me bring up the research tab. We got a lot of research to do, so I'm actually going to assign a few more laboratories to our 50%. Luckily, we have a 50% scientist in this, so we can get this research done relatively quickly. Now, also to build up the amount of forces that I want to actually build, we're going to need a lot more ground force construction facilities. So Rice is going to probably have to be the one to do it, just because it has Renderite already here, and we can mine plenty of it. I want 20 facilities, so we've already got 4.86 on the way here. And these take quite a lot of time to actually produce and to make. And it's not an easy thing to do either, so we're going to have to just keep building up that production capacity on Rice then and get the construction factories moved over. But if we have a look at current ground force combat strength, we have combat engineers on Rice, but no infantry battalions. We also have all of these guys, which are kind of depleted or not really doing too hot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw those all into one area and then just either sack them or reform them into some actual usable areas. Because that's definitely something that I want to be doing. Let's actually order construction of, well, we're going to need, how many regiments are we going to need? Not brigades, brigades, my bad, brigades. Ground force construction, brigade headquarters. We're going to need we're going to need 8 brigades of forces. So that is going to be, what, 240 kilotons worth of forces there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 brigades, they'll be done 2196 July. And then we'll also need to start construction on infantry battalions. Once we have those brigades done, we're then going to need to start production of, what would that be? 12, 16, 32 battalions will be the total requirement for that. And then we also have to start thinking about surface to orbit weapons. But let's start thinking about the actual game itself. How is our construction coming in terms of research? Super carrier. We need a few more things for that, but for our destroyers, we should be able to start production relatively shortly. We're just waiting on power and propulsion for that, and then for our cruiser, we're currently waiting on, obviously, the AMMs, and also we're waiting on thermal sensors and fire control. So it's all down to sensors and power and propulsion for now. So yeah, ion drive will hopefully be done somewhat shortly. And then we'll also have to get some of the other better stuff sorted out. We're trying to, at the moment, stabilize a jump point into 34 Nacius. so that we can actually send what forces we currently have to go check them out, because I want to know how many actual ground forces we're facing, because we may need a Marine division, we may need 3 Marine divisions. It really does depend. Yeah, it really does depend. So stop that. This is our bombers. Can we actually start producing some of those? So we have bomber. Oh yeah, I put it in cast and I close that support. So we had the New South Wales, and then we also had this, which I was designing. We're going to need bombardment pods before we can actually do that, though. We can get this under research while we wait. There's a lot of research with these components. The amount of investments we're actually doing into a lot of these things is pretty significant. So, yeah, it's going to cost us a pretty penny, which is why we need to expand ourselves out significantly far. How many automated mines are currently on Earth, by the way? Automated mines, 106. We can move all of those over to Sirius to begin mining that precious. I don't think I need to state enough how precious that Gallicite is. Cargo Group Delta, load up automated mines. Head over to Sirius, and then unload them all, and then return to Sol and refuel. And then repeat that 4 times. There we go. And that'll take you a few years to do, but that'll get us the minerals we will surely need from Sirius to actually be able to fund our exploits. So if we also need to stabilize the point between Shoot 298 and some other places. Currently, everyone's got to take the long way, which is kind of a problem. But yeah, we're using quite a lot of resources from here, and a lot of iridium, corundium, gallicite, and a few other things. But it's mainly that gallicite which we really need to focus on. And something that we can do to actually improve that is I can get our sector commands built up better, which I'll do if we can here. So I'm going to go for 2 sector commands, 25, and then I'd honestly say I want, what do I need? Ordnance, fire, production, terraforming installations, mines. Let's keep producing automated mines. We have so much corundium, we can just produce these mines like it's no tomorrow at all. Yeah, I want to destroy. I want to test out some SLMs and some other forces, and we can maybe silence their service to orbit weapons and see what we can do about that. 99 SETI was found. We found a single habitable. Ooh. What's your location? There. There. Okay, that is how many jumps away from Earth? 16.3 billion kilometers away from Earth. Okay, that's not that bad. But it would mean that there's more importance placed on Shoot 298 and all these worlds, because colonizing that world could definitely be very beneficial to us. There's an ice fields. It's got an ocean nitrogen atmosphere. You just have to increase the temperature slightly. There's also another world which has a nitrogen methane atmosphere, but is a desert mountain. Very interesting. There could be aliens here though, so I have to be a little bit careful. Who knows what we'll be coming up against. We're going to send you home to Sol. We fuel, we supply, and then we can overhaul. Looks like the Diego Silva has to go back again, but that is of a very keen interest to the Federalist Republic, that. So we'll do day increments. I'm just waiting for technology to catch up at this point, really. So yeah, each Marine Expeditionary Force will be assigned to a carrier group, which will then be assigned to a sector, and then we'll also have assignments for ground forces as well. The Paula Diaz, you have maintenance, but let's have you resupply. We're going to send you back over to 99 SETI. And the Diego Silvas as well. Question for me is, are there aliens there? If there's no aliens there, I'll be very extremely surprised, because we haven't faced any alien threats recently at all or whatsoever. So that is, well, NPRs that is. We faced plenty of alien threats, but they're not active ones. Third artillery battery complete on Earth. Earth should probably just be producing marine-based stuff. So let's just go for marine infantry battalions. We also have our expeditionary brigades, which are in construction as well. Research has completed into the ion drive, and now we're getting the gas reactor, and that should then allow us to build the Aegis class destroyer. Are there seriously no aliens here? Okay, how valuable is this going to be to us then? Automated mines bring us failure. We complete construction of our automated mines. Let me have a look at 99 SETI then. 99 SETI minerals. And so far, nothing. We're surveying the first planet in the inner system. It's a pretty close-knit planet, or system in general, which is quite surprising. Hopefully get this research done, because that's really what's affecting us right now, and then we can actually go and check out some things. Okay, the Cornwall just completed over at Tau Ceti, which now means we need to order it. Also, yes, I did some cleanup of some of our forces, just to make it look a little bit nicer as well. I did that off screen just because, well, it's just not that interesting. So let's go through 55 Buddhists, and then we can stabilize the jump point on either side. I plan to make a military outpost in 55 Buddhists just because if we have a look at the world itself, there's a ruined city, nitrogen, oxygen, atmosphere world which we can dig up, and also we can colonize. All we need to do, yeah, we can. It's going to be fairly easy to terraform, and in terms of capabilities. A lot of people also talking about survey sites. I don't think there weren't too many decent survey sites from what I could tell. I mean, Ganymede, Titan has some, but nothing out of the ordinary or extremely valuable, I would say. So I'm not too concerned about that. We also would need to actually build those forces up. Looks like there was a new governor assigned, and we can complete construction of research facilities. How many labs are we now on? We have a total of 82 research labs. Let's increase that because we always need more research. So we're going to build 20 more laboratories at 25% capacity. We make about 2 labs a year, 1.8 labs. Wow, that's going to take a while to survey. Wow, that's one hell of a survey time. 28th Infantry Battalion was trained on rice. Let's start producing more then. And we can just back order this up. So we'll do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. There we go. That's how the infantry battalions will need for a single division. So, chop chop, get to it, Rice. How many workers does it actually take for us, Ground Force wise? 4 million on Earth. Well, it's 5 million. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to need quite a bit of population. It's 1 million workers per Ground Force construction facility. So, we can definitely use up the population we have here, though we need to be a bit careful, of course, about the current situation. Let's go for water vapor, add gas, and just start removing it. I will move that water vapor down. We complete your decisions to active search sensor. Frobisher cannot complete its orders. I'm gonna have you head over to 99 SETI. Let me have a look then. What's our current stockpiles? So Street 298 is doing fine. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. You could use some more though at some point. Yeah. There's also the quandary of naval defense capabilities, but that's why we're gonna have STOs and also the planetary defense core that we're gonna be building up there. Research into the gas-cooled reactor finally complete, which means now we can build the Aegis class destroyer, which is the first of the next generation of vessels. We can build 4 of those, in fact. So we're going to go for the Aegis. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to build that into the shipyard fleet. We are going to need to give them proper names, though. So we're going to go for... why don't we go for Royal Navy destroyers? And then we'll do FRSS. Select from random theme. And the first one, though, is going to be called the Aegis, of course, because it's the first of its class. FRSS Aegis. And we haven't been building many military ships in recent times, so this is going to be a big deal. The Chivalrous, Tattoo, and Partridge, so that's 4 destroyers on the way. That'll cost us 2,000 Gallicite. Let me also scrap some vessels. There are a few vessels that we do need to scrap from the Thames class, some of the older patrol boats that we don't really need anymore, so to speak. So we are going to scrap those. Good, so that now means that our power propulsion is free. Let's grab that power propulsion, and we're also going to need better engine size capability, won't we? How is the supercarrier going? Right, it's future prototype. Yeah, we're going to need much bigger engines, so that is a priority for us. We also have the ceramic composite coming on the way. But yeah, the destroyers will be the first of the new vessels, and they will hopefully perform extremely well for us. But we'll test it out. They'll have access to the SLM, so I'm also wanting to test those out in combination. So yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to probe the Rackers by the end of this episode. The Birmingham, Weymouth, and Reading were scrapped. We completed research into the new ion drive. Very, very nice. Now we're going to put all power and propulsion technologies into getting us better engine size efficiency, or engine total size. So Marine Corps, we're building the division headquarters. Well, a lot of research they've got done here. Yeah, division headquarters is completed up. 1990, let's have a look at minerals. We have 1.9 million tons of uranium, 0.8 excess, magnesium. B2, we have uridium, gallicite, uranium. On A1, we have neutronium, carbonate. Okay. Not that impressed, actually. Not that impressed from the resources so far. We have not surveyed this planet, though. We have surveyed this one. We'll have to wait then, I guess. We find so many of these worlds. Are the settings even correct? We should have some NPRs. NPR generation chance by player, 30%. Yeah. We should get some NPRs at this point. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. We also need to consider replacing our survey vessels at some point because they're going to kind of be out of date. We are going to get better engines at some point soonish. But that's remained to be seen for now. We've been stuck on ion for most of this period just because of the amount of research we realistically need to be able to do. Okay, infantry battalion, train on Earth, production of sector command done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these to the sector. So the thing with the sectors is they need to be added to level before we can actually add them. But we can actually add this now to sector. So shoot 8. So this is where I'm going to kind of stop the Sol sector at, and that's going to be out to Bernard Star, Tau Ceti, and then everything after will create new sectors and new sector commands for that. Appropriately as we need them to. Okay. Oh, we also have build points available, so we can actually build some ground forces immediately and get them shipped off. Okay, we're continuing our survey though. Everything is looking good. How long will those destroyers take us to build, by the way? Shipyard tasks. We'll normally have the LCA Norfolk done, or Norfolk, and then we'll have those done in July of the next year. Okay. Okay, 29th Infantry Battalion, and we're continuing to train them up. Thank God for queuing, by the way, but in previous versions of Aurora, you couldn't even queue ground forces, and that was a... Yeah, it was one hell of a doozy. That was causing a lot of issues for a lot of players. JSS Cornwall completed, so now we can actually access the system. Now we have to bring our tug group. Where is it? Tug group Alpha Tau Ceti. Go into here, grab the Cornwall, then go in and put it at where do we want to put it? We want to put it on Theta Fornacius, and then you're going to head over back to Tau Ceti and you'll refuel. One thing that we can now begin to do, though, is transport over infrastructure to a world within within this. So, create a colony. I'm also going to rename the body/colony to Impassive after one of the members. And since it's going to basically be a military stronghold, I think that suits it just fine. So let's exit the galaxy map, and I'm going to order these guys to begin actually loading and moving capacity over so that we can move, what is that? 10 infrastructure, 40 infrastructure, I think, with that, right? So we're going to load infrastructure. Actually, what I want you to do is go to Rise. So go to Alpha Centauri, go to this planet, Actually, that takes you so much longer, doesn't it? That's a problem. Yeah, just load infrastructure. Head over to 55 Buddhist. Unload the infrastructure. And then head back to Sol and refuel. There we go. Why are you guys so slow? You guys should be a lot faster than this. Oh, I know why. Because we've got a few New York classes in here, don't we? Yeah, we do. The older classes. So we need to attach this, or move this into doing its own thing. And then infrastructure, move it over, unload all installations. And then we'll also have Delta do it once they're done with their automated mine stuff. Okay, and we're just going to keep moving infrastructure over to that planet, get it moved as soon as we can, and then we can begin to actually put in placements there. If we have a look at 55 Buddhist, do we need to do anything extra in terms of sensor buoys? Not just yet. Looks like we do need to add some though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order the Cormorant to reload ordnance from the colony, and then head over to 55 Buddhist, and head over to this world. There we go. Okay. So the Cornwall is now in place, so then we can begin to have it handle the terraforming aspects. So not terraforming aspects, the stabilization of the jump point. And that is going to take us quite a bit of time, 230 days apparently, which is quite a lot less than you would think. Subgroup Alpha has completed orders, good. They'll wait there as they need to. So that'll take us about a year and a half before we can get stuff moved. But I want to get a fuel depot out to here as soon as we can. 2 expeditionary brigades just completed construction, and they should be ready for action immediately if I so need them. Active search sensor completed. The common one is now arrived. Let's have a look. How many? You only have 5 buoys. We're gonna have to build some more, don't we? Then. Yeah, we are. One thing that I do want as well, though, is 200 more construction factories, because we don't have enough of those, and I'm going to tell the ordnance to begin building 100 more of these at 100% capacity. Didn't take you long at all. So come on, I want you to go over to here, to 71 Eridani, move to location, launch ready ordnance, standard transit, launch ready ordnance. Okay, there we go. So, done. Then go through the jump point. No, don't go through the jump point. You gotta do another one, don't you? So launch. Waiting for the confirmation. Why is that not firing? 71 Eridani. Let's have a look. Yeah, you should be firing your ordnance. I guess it's waiting for the reload, aren't you? Yeah, you are. So we'll have to wait for that. So try that again, please. Launch your ready ordnance. There we go. Then head back and head over to Omega Ceti. Okay. And then once you're on Omega Ceti, we're going to launch ready ordnance again. Go through the jump point and then launch another ready ordnance. So Omega Ceti here. Where is Omega Ceti? There we go. So launch ready ordnance, please. Okay, then go through 50 this again. Head over to YZ Ceti, move to location, launch ready ordnance. Okay, there we go. So now, I'm going to head you back to Sol to go and rearm, resupply, refuel. Oh, we have we have all of this area now protected. So if we go to 55 Buddhist, we should have, the Cornwall is on the way to handle that. This year, we should have our LCAs done, and then also we need the destroyers done, and then we can begin to actually start to outfit a bit of a carrier group. Completed research into beam fire control, good. Sensors and fire controls, we still got a lot to do here, especially in ECM, thermal sensors and the like. missile fire control, and then I want you to focus on getting us a flag bridge immediately. Okay, let's continue our increments. Rhine detection buoy has completed on Earth. Good. We're going to halt on our Gallicite usage because we're going to need to wait a little bit because we need a lot more Gallicite. Oh, we're mining so much corundium though, which is just great for us. So we can just keep spamming mines onto this world to get as much Gallicite as we can out of it. We're currently mining 10,000 tons. So we're going to need to bring even more of that back towards the colony, towards Earth. The common one is now back. Good. The first Norfolk class was completed and completed its construction. So the Norfolk, what you're going to, if we have a look at LCA, you are going to have, where was it? You're going to have Fury bombers on yours. So we're going to have 16 Fury bombers. Yeah. 16 Fury bombers is going to be a loadout, and then we're also going to have the 10,000 tons for the Marine Expeditionary Brigade. So if you have a look at the first task force, where is it? There's the Norfolk there it is. Load ground unit. We want you to load a Marine Expeditionary Brigade, and I also want you to, load Marine Expeditionary Brigade and prepare to load fighters, but we're going to need to wait on that because I'm waiting on the fighter pod bay, and then we also need the bombardment pods, which is from ground combat, and currently ground combat research is being a little bit hammered at the moment, so we're going to have to wait quite a bit on that before we can do anything in regards to it. But yeah, the Norfolk is ready. We're gonna keep it to one vessel for now. We'll probably do more per carrier strike group, but one is good enough for me now. Okay, we finished up the brigades on this world, so we can start assigning infantry battalions over. We'll also need combat engineer battalions per brigade, but that's going to take a little bit because we need to train a lot of infantry. Okay, Fighter Factory completed on Earth. Fighter Factory completed on Earth, which is good. Now I'm going to put all production into automated mines because we're going to need them. And speaking of actual production, let's do 50. We are going to actually transport all these goods around the Empire. We're going to need to produce more New York classes. We can refit though, so we are going to refit a couple of designs, and then we're also going to construct more of them because we need to. We need more capacity if we are actually going to be able to transport forces. Not only that, we're going to need more Natals, and I'm also going to consider our logistic strategy in terms of that. So I'm going to order construction of 3 more of those, which gives us another 120,000 tons worth of capacity, which is enough to move basically it's enough to move an infantry brigade around per. Complete research into MEF headquarters, good. Okay, and we're continuing our increments. We're actually making some decent progress now, but we're just, again, waiting on that research. So that's FMA battery headquarters done. And we should nearly have that ready for us. What could we send as an expeditionary force? Let me think. Just for scouting purposes. So Task Group Alpha contains currently all of this. I'm going to detach the majority of these frigates. Basically all of them. You guys are going to be detached. I'm going to rename you to reserves. And eventually I'm going to have these guys handle planetary protection duties. We also have a bunch of fighters here, which are either going to need to be scrapped or sent to hold worlds. But also there's a Vesta here, which will move into reserves again. What I'm going to do is to replace those. I'm also going to get rid of the scout frigate as well. I think we'll be fine with getting rid of the scout frigate, right? What's the sensor range on the destroyers? 41 million. No, we're not too fine with getting rid of the scout frigate, so we're actually going to keep that. We'll keep the scout frigate with us. Yeah, and then we just need to wait for the destroyers, which will provide the protection for us. When will they be done again? We're waiting for July, right? July of 2170. So they'll be done. They're halfway built. And then we got a bunch more ships on the way. We'll also bring the Norfolk as well to provide support. I really just want to know their total size or the total amount of forces. Infantry battalion trained. I don't even think we need to send necessarily our entire force towards them because they don't have missiles. But yeah, can we actually handle that? Let's have a look at the scout frigate. Where is my scout frigate? You don't have a jump drive, do you? No, you do not. But the Cormorant does. Cormorant goes 4,000 kilometers per second, has an 88.7. So we're actually going to send you over to Theta Fornasius real quick. Now we'll have you do the scouting information for us, since you are a scout frigate. Hopefully you don't end up like the other ones. The other ones did not fare too well. Logistics is going pretty well over here on Rice, and we're going to continue that logistics run. We're going to focus on getting maintenance capacity up. At the end of the day, that'll take us 8 years. Infantry battalion trained on the rise. How is all the infantry battalions being trained going? Yeah, we're just mass training infantry right now. And then we'll dispatch those to various worlds for planetary defense purposes. So now we're in Theta Fornasius with our with the Cormorant. The wreck was on A2, so we're going to first off, we're going to activate active sensors. So active sensors on, and we're going to move to location. Does this ship not have a small detector? No, it does not. That's a problem. Actually, then you're useless to me. Let's head over to Sol and wait. If you can't detect for me resolution 1 for ground forces, then you're basically pointless in this endeavor anyway. So we're just gonna have to wait here for the destroyers to complete. We refitted a couple more New York classes. Let's produce even more of them as we're going to need them. Yeah, produce more. We need more tonnage capacity just overall to actually be able to do anything. The common one is now back home. Very, very nice. The Diego Silves just completed its surveying. We're going to send you back to 99 SETI, please. And speaking of 99 SETI, did we finish up the surveying of that? Okay, so let's have a look. On the third planet, we have 0.85 million tons of uranium. Okay, nothing too important then. Those are some nice worlds, but they're not that valuable for me to go out my way to grab them because we have other worlds nearby that are just as important. Okay. Cornwall just finished on that side. We're going to go through the other side now. So let's go through Fate and from Anasius and let's stabilize the jump point. How are fuel reserves, by the way, doing? I haven't checked in a while. Fuel reserves are looking peachy and good. Making plenty of them. Most of our Galasite is going into shipyard tasks and maintenance right now, which is where the cost is going. But we're actually getting we're actually getting some Galasite increases now. Our Galasite's actually going up for once because we have the automated mines actually producing. Inactive facility on Street 298 B2. Yeah, I get that. I get that, my dude. I really do. We'll have to move that off at some point because that's going to annoy me to all hell. Yeah, so we're waiting for July now for the destroyers to be complete, and then we can move them over, and then we're going to use them to test out our new missile capabilities. Infantry battalion trained on Rice. Let's continue to organize up our forces here. So infantry battalion, infantry battalion, infantry battalion, infantry battalion, infantry battalion. So now we have 2 infantry brigades ready. We're going to need way more forces for these though. So total size is 3,997 and 78 tons. With a total fellow guardsman capacity of quite a bit. So hopefully we should be able to handle most things that come at us with that. But I'm not going to send them to fight the enemy. They're going to be moved around depending on the need for them. Complete research into missile fire control. The question is, can we now build the cruiser that I want to build, the Senya class? No, we can't. We're waiting on this drive. And we're also waiting on the vertical launch system. Both things that we are going to be needing. Let's hold off then on this and let's research the things that we do need. like the size of a missile launcher. Cancel labs. Like the size of a missile launcher and like the size 6 missile launcher. Magazines. Yeah, magazines, all that good stuff. Okay, hopefully that'll get researched on for us there. Paula Diaz, what are you doing? Let's just send you to one of these worlds. Lambda Volantis. Lambda Volantis. I'd like to know more if there's anything off in that direction at all, because that is actually closer to Sol. So we'll keep that apprised of the situation. Shooting 298 is also growing. We finally got our colony over here. We're going to rename this to Impassive. Make sure we assign a governor. There we go. And then we have the amount of Frobisher who requires new orders as well. So we're going to go to, where is it? Lambda Volantis. How is Cargo Group Delta doing right now? They have another 2 years left of delivering automated mines. Currently, we sit at 200 automated mines on the surface, which produces 11,600 tons worth of resources. Though our sector governor apparently is having problems. Let me head over to our admin command here. Administrators, I want a sectors, I want a civilian admin, I want mining to be the priority. So Charlotte Baker has a 50% bonus in this, which is very, very nice. Can we add Sirius to Sol Sector? No, we can't. That's kind of annoying, and I'm going to do that. So to do that, we're going to actually need to reduce the amount we can produce here, and I'm going to build another sector command. There we go. And that'll be done relatively soon in terms of everything else. Okay, a few more months until our destroyers are ready, and then we can begin to head over towards the Rackers and see what kind of forces we are dealing with total. The Rice class carry escort will be kind of delegated to back escort duty at some point, and also supporting ground forces because it is going to become very, very out of date soon. Also, super carrier has been completed, but that's going to take quite a bit. Ceramic composite armor just completed. Unfortunately, the Aegis is already too late for that, but we can update the armor on this one, which will then allow us to add in some extra stuff. In terms of extra stuff, what would I like to add? You could just add another armor plate, which would give us 6 armor. 6 armor would be nice. Yeah, let's add 6 armor and let's add some extra fuel. So that gives us, quite a bit more substantial. That's like 20% more armor there. Then the super carrier, if we update the armor here, yeah, we save like 1,000 plus tons with that, which we can then add another hangar deck onto for it. Which gives us, 58 total fighters that we can have on any one ship, on the ship itself. We're closing to like 50% of the ship being a hangar deck, so that is pretty cool. But yeah, we'll have to wait out for that one. Defensive systems is now done though, so I'm going to now focus its research on something else. Specifically on thermal reduction research. We complete research into Block 1. The year ourselves exceeded deployment time. Okay, few more months, 3 months until we can get ourselves the destroyers built. We continue our training up of infantry battalions over here. That's going decently well. I want at least an infantry division trained up before I give them assignments to move out. I'm going to send the 1st infantry division probably to defend Earth. I'll be real, and that's going to be 200 kilotons, so that's going to be quite a bit. Army Corps just completed research. It's now May, we've got 2 more months to go. June and then July soon enough here. The deployment time repairs have been carried out on the Frobisher. Frobisher, let's get you back immediately, please. I don't really want to lose you out there. Yeah, you'll be heading back to overhaul. Okay, we're nearly at July. We're going to have to get our shipbuilding and techs increased because this is going to take way too long for some of these ships to be built. Yeah, here we go. So I think it's the end of the month that it will actually happen. And there we go. So 4 Aegis classes were built. The Aegis, Chivalrous, Partridge, Tattoo, and the commanding officers were assigned. Captain Matthew Page, Kieran Bull, Mark Adams, Robert Bentley, and various other commanders. Now I'm going to order 4 more vessels to be built. Yeah, so 4 more Aegis class vessels will be constructed. We're going to put those in the shipyard task group, and then let's assign every force that we need. So let's bring it across here. So shipyard fleet. Close the reserves out. Task group Alpha. We're going to put the Norfolk in the task group, and then I'm going to put all of these destroyers in the task group as well. That's 40,000 tons total, which is effectively like what 8? Yeah, around 8 normal destroyers. So very good. Everything's loaded. We're going to refuel, resupply, load ordnance, and then we're going to head over to Theta Fornacius. We should be able to make it thanks to the supply vessel, easily enough anyway. If we have a look at the total fuel capacity, it's 25 million, and we should be able to refuel most of that. They're currently near Saturn, and then they're going to be transiting across, I do believe. Task Group Alpha on the way there, as you can see. Heading over to Lumen. Martin Frobisher requires new orders. You've been in service for so bloody long, haven't you? Yeah, no, your orders are to overhaul, my dude. Just hang out, refuel, resupply, overhaul. Okay. And now we're just waiting for the order. The Cornwall completed its orders, so now we go to Thea Fornacius, and we're going to wait for the task group to arrive. Okay, we have arrived here. Sensor array looking dandy. Are all the sensors actually on though? Let me check. Task group Alpha. The supply ship, as you can see, all the fuel's maxed because the supply ship has been refueling everything, which is really, really nice. So we're going to turn active sensors on. There we go, Res 1 sensor, 2 million kilometers away. So let's see if we could probably get within range of 2 million kilometers. I wouldn't be too surprised about that. So we're going to head towards A2. That'll take us 2 days. And here we go. We can also obviously fire our Hawk missiles if we need to. I want to know the level of forces we're going up against. Of course, if we get too close, we're going to have a surface-to-orbit weapon fire on us, which is not going to be fun. And we will return fire if they do so. But we're not. Our plan is not to invade the planet, as we can't even do that. We have 10,000 tons of ground forces with us right now, but it's not enough to realistically do what I want it to be doing. Okay. Just slowly increment. So active sensor. Ground force signature 8,700 tons. We can assume then there's about 21,000 tons worth of ground forces on that planet. Yeah, we can easily assume that. We also need to set these aliens to actually hostile though as well. And I need to have a look at weapon capabilities. So ship combat weapons, ground force signature 1.93 million. Okay, halt. Okay, so estimated forces are 8,700 tons. Obviously, fortification is going to significantly affect that, so I'm going to presume there's either 20 to 50,000 tons worth of rackers, which means we're going to need probably 300,000 tons before we begin any kind of invasion. Yeah, that's really what I'm going to be looking at here. Before we can begin any kind of invasion. I do not think that we can do too much in the way here. Can't tell too much from this distance. Let's try and get them to fire. I'm going to detach our destroyer escorts. Attach. Approach the planet, and I want to see the boundary of the range of their fire. This is an extremely dangerous mission, but it'll be worth it. So we are currently 1.2 million, 1.1. 1 million kilometers away. 900,000, 800, 890. Okay, we're closing within railgun range at this point. Okay, impacts. 2 energy weapon impacts against us. Yeah, service-based weaponry. So far 2 armor hits. This feels like either carronades or lasers from the damage that they were able to do. Yeah, we're gonna hold. We're gonna keep going. Okay, we have STO ground signature 400 tons. I am not that scared of that. I'll be honest. We're gonna save real quick, but depending on their weapons, if it's carronades, we could actually continue bombardment. Yeah, 6 strength 2s. Halt. And we're going to open fire for ourselves. Let's bring the pain to these surface orbit weapons. Let's try out actually our available missiles, ANSPG. Let us auto assign FCCs. There we go. And let's assign that to the fleet. And I'm going to actually target their surface to orbits, and I'm going to fire. Open fire fleet. There we go. And then I'm going to assign that to the fleet. I want to see how effective our surface to land missiles will be. Okay, firing. Okay, nuclear detonations 4, strength 24. Chance to hit 1.7%. No ground targets it. Looks like that was not an effective use there. Okay, ceasefire then. Looks like they're too heavily dug in for use of that weapon. We will fire our lightweight naval guns then towards them. We're not in range of our other guns, so we're just going to fire the lightweight ones. So I'm going to unassign all of these weapons. There we go. And we're going to open fire on the surface to orbit weapons. Open fire control, assign fleet, and fire. Okay, we have 4 impacts. So far, no hits. Chance to hit 0.4%. Yeah, let's just keep firing. That's 7 strength, 12 hits to hit the armor there. Okay. No ground units hit. We have very, very little chance to hit their surface to orbit weapons, which is the problem here. But with how this is going, I'm not that scared of them, I'll be honest. Shots, damage, 5 shots, damage here, attacked by surface to orbit, no hits. No ground units hit. We're shelling them, but the problem is that they're too dug in. The chance to hit is 0.4%. Okay. Well, I'm a lot less scared of what they have now. Now, am I greedy enough to try and do a landing attempt? If we have a look at our ground forces, right? Let's have a look here. So if we have a look at ground forces, ships, right? So we have location. We have 10,000 tons, right, on this infantry brigade. The question is, could we theoretically deal with that? Likely no. Would it give us information on our opponents? Yes. Would it likely get all of our friendlies killed? Yes. So I'm not going to do it. I've already lost plenty from other problems. But yeah, we took some light armor damage there, and we also figured out their strengths and capabilities. I'm not as worried as I once was. So we're going to head back to the task group, and we are going to join the fleet immediately. So yeah, that was definitely a good test though, and I think that's where we're going to leave the episode off as we prepare to fight these Rackers. A great first test of the destroyers using its naval guns. and also providing its sensor capabilities. Really happy so far. Hopefully next episode we should be able to continue this, build out more of our ground forces, and prepare for an invasion of this world. I'll see you guys next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye-bye. And special thanks to members Altiga1101, Lewis Neto, King Strozer, and Impassive9.